My name's Amber Venz, and I own two online businesses. The first is ambervenz.com, which is my jewelry website, and I design, produce, and sell jewelry, both e-commerce and wholesale to stores. And my second site is venzedits.com, and that's basically a fashion site for women that's I make fashionable suggestions on where to buy the current trends, where to get the best deal, how to wear it, and so I actually style these looks for them every day, and everything's click to purchase, so it's a really easy transaction, which actually leads me into my background. Freshman year of college, started working in a store in Dallas called Sebastian's, and I was there for about 5 years, but through that I built up a large customer base, and I mainly styled for the store for the first 4 years. And after I left, a lot of the customers were contacting me, and but didn't have money to pay for a personal stylist, but still wanted suggestions. So it really Venz Edits really rolled out of that, because it's a website that's free for everyone, but they can get basically the advice I'd be giving them in the stores.
So did you grow up in Dallas, or where are you from?
I did, yes. I grew up in Dallas. I went to Highland Park High School, and then SMU, and my parents have lived here forever.
Yeah. So basically, like on the site, like when you say click to purchase, like when they purchase stuff, are they buying stuff from you or buying stuff from the retailers?
So I have basically agreements with about 35 stores, and so that gives me pretty much any brand that I need access to, I have access to. So I'll go out to the mall and other stores and kind of research what's out there, and then find it online and style it. Tell customers how to wear it, like why they should buy it, reason, like explain it, and not just say, hey, buy this. Because I'm definitely not just a site that's advertisers. I pick actually all the products and sell it for them. But you're actually making a transaction with like Shopbop or Zappos, so you're not making a transaction with me.
Okay, so you just have like agreements in place with them, so like
Right.
somebody will go to your website and get a good suggestion, then buy it from them?
Yes, so they can click on the article of clothing or the whole outfit and buy it through that store.
Okay. Then how did you get started with the jewelry design?
With the jewelry, when Sebastian's opened, I was in, I guess, high school, and I went in there and loved the jewelry that they had. My mom wouldn't buy it for me because it was too expensive, and I've always been a person that would make it happen however I could when it came to fashion. So my neighbor behind me in the alley made jewelry, and so she gave me a set of small jewelry tools and taught me how to wrap wire. So I started kind of knocking off everything I was seeing in Sebastian's. Then my aunt actually was one of the directors of the Crisis Pregnancy Center in Duncanville, and so she would have a sale every year and asked if I would donate jewelry, and that would be my service hours for high school. We'd have 50. So I made it and sold it there, and then people were asking who the jewelry was by, and they'd drop their homecoming dresses off at my house or tops, and I'd make a necklace or earrings. At the time, I was definitely not a businesswoman. I just loved jewelry. I think I was selling earrings for about $20, and they cost me like $30 to make. But it was a good time. Then I started working at Sebastian's, and his jewelry was just below par, and so I asked if I could make jewelry for the clothes like I'd been doing for people in the neighborhood, and he said yes, and it really kind of took off from there. I mean, actually I started out doing it because I wanted to pay off the purses and the shoes and
that you wanted to
that
actually
I
wear.
purchased. Yeah. So actually I was definitely spending a lot more than I was making, but I would just make enough jewelry to sell to counteract that. And then after I graduated from college, they invited me on as a buyer. And so I bought for them for about 9 months, I guess. And my boyfriend's very entrepreneurial, and he was like, Amber, you gotta stop just making enough to sell your boots. Like, you can do this as your actual career. So I left the store and had a great team around me as far as a boyfriend, dad, everyone that kind of pointed me in the right direction. And we launched Amber Venz Inc. the next month, actually, or we incorporated Amber Venz Inc. and then launched the jewelry site that month.
Okay.
So
did you always know that you wanted to own your own business, or it was kind of more like you like jewelry, and then it kind of just turned into that?
I mean, it's kind of funny. Ever since we were little, my dad has actually always worked for himself, and he always told us that you'll only be happy if you're working for yourself. You can never really make money unless you're working for yourself, and just kind of ingrained that in us by the time we were like in 4th grade. So actually, and then fashion has just always been a passion of mine.
Right.
And like I said, anytime I'd see something in a magazine I wanted, I would just make it happen, whether it was getting my grandmother to knock off a Prada dress for me and we'd sit there and sew it and cut the pattern, or I wanted scarves at one point. I saw Jessica Simpson in one, and so I was knitting them on the back row of 5th grade and selling them. I actually got kicked out of math class for selling scarves. At one point I made jean skirts out of people's jeans.
But you were selling them to your classmates?
Yes,
okay.
On the back row of math. Yeah. Again, probably not making any money, but I guess I've always been a little entrepreneurial that way. And then, so I definitely think I've always had, that inclination. And then I was surrounded with the right people to nurture me and give me the business ideas. I'm definitely not a business major at all, but I have the right people around me who can kind of channel my talent.
Right. So I guess since starting your own business, what do you look forward to most about each day? Just being able to run your own show?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. One of the things I like the most is being able to make my own schedule, and it's kind of funny because I actually end up waking up earlier than I did for my other job and probably staying up later. And I mean, I'm constantly on the computer, either blogging for my website, writing articles, editing pictures, doing photo shoots, but it's actually things that I really love, and I'm kind of developing my own talents along the way, and I've gotten a good response from people, so it kind of just keeps me going. But I love being able to set my own schedule and being able to leave town and work from San Francisco or work from Louisiana, and everything's online, which is really kind of was my end goal, to be able to set my own pace and my own lifestyle. At my first job, once I was hired after college as a buyer, my vacation time was 5 days, and which I really thought, I even looked it up online, the post office actually gets 2 weeks vacation their first year of work. So I was really upset about that, and that really actually kind of led to me putting the fire behind me to leave and to start my own business, because I wanted to go on a vacation to Italy, and I wanted to go to the Boulevard on the weekends, and I was forced to work every Saturday, and it was just kind of a lifestyle decision.
Right. So. What's been the hardest thing for you to learn? Everyone has obstacles, it seems so easy that you got it figured out now, but obviously there's probably some obstacles along the way.
Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks, and I guess the biggest thing I've learned is not to trust anyone.
Oh, God.
It seems rough, but especially dealing in the retail world, you need a contract for everything. It's basically the first thing I've learned, whether it's for my fashion website and people who are modeling for me, or people who bought my jewelry and taking shipments. I've had jewelry stolen from me. People try to sue me over pictures. It's so definitely not learning that not everyone has good intentions, and there's a reason that there are lawyers in the world.
Oh, gosh. Are most of your, most people that read your blog, are they, is it a certain age group, younger, older?
It's really, I would say, in between 18 to 35, but I definitely do have a group of women in Dallas who knew me from Sebastian's that are even the 40 to 50 crowd that really purchase a lot off the site.
Right.
And because they'll always call me and tell me about what they got and how they wore it. So I guess it's a little bit wider age range than most fashion sites would be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I start from my point of view, but also in what I would call a Manhattan perspective. So it's stuff that I would see on the runway, but it's also coming from a 23-year-old. So I'm a little bit edgier than maybe your 35-year-old Dallas stylist, but I think that I'm conservative enough to where it can work for a lot of people. And I'll a lot of times say on the site, if you're going to the bars, you're going to wear it with this. If you're a mom chasing your kid, put on this instead. So I kind of let my customers know when it's appropriate for them to wear the outfits that I'm showing.
Well, I guess with the jewelry stuff, do you sell more directly? So are you in stores here in Dallas and around the United States, or more online, or how does that does that side work?
Actually, well, I do have an e-commerce site, and we do sell online. Mm-hmm. I mainly am set up as a wholesaler, so I just we have market 4 times a year, and I go make appointments with the stores and sell to them. My biggest accounts are definitely in Dallas. So Stanley Korshak's probably my number one, and we do a big business with them. They buy pretty much the whole collection. And then I have smaller stores that are boutique, but they know who their customer is and what they're buying. And actually, it's gotten to the point where now I kind of design for specific stores. So going in, I know what Cabana is going to buy. I know what Korshak's going to buy, and I'll design things in gold if I think Cabana wants it, right. and kind of more of a rust if I think an edgier LA store wants it. So I've learned my customer and kind of can style towards them. But we're sold everywhere from California, Louisiana, Texas, a lot in Texas. So.
Okay. So do you have plans of just continue to expand, or?
I do. Actually, right now I have started a new brand called Amber by Amber Venz, which is a diffusion line. So that'll be sold in department stores. Everything under $100, most under $50. So it's kind of my aesthetic, but on a broader scale. I've also been working on a lot of licensing, so doing, a belt line for a good friend who has a clothing line, and just things kind of keep snowballing. And so my business has really, from what it started at a year ago, has completely changed direction. And that's part of what's cool about what I'm doing, is I'm just using my talents, and as I meet more people and nurture more relationships, things just keep coming my way.
Okay.
So I'd say probably the most important thing about being an entrepreneur is your relationships. And I don't like the word networking, because I think people exploit it and it's a fake kind of word.
Yeah, I mean, there's a right way and a wrong way to use
right.
the term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when people are like, oh, well, how have you networked? It's like, no, I actually built real relationships.
Yeah, it's like, no, I actually have good friends.
Yeah.
It's not like I went to like 5 happy hours. And
it's not going to happy hour or glad handing. I mean, everyone gets their hand shook 20 times and they don't know who you are. So, making an impact on people and keeping up with them, and actually, building relationships with people that are, that care about what I care about, that's a good baseline.
Right. Have you, have you ever used like any creative like marketing techniques or anything like unique or something that you can think of along the way that kind of like got you a lot of publicity somehow?
Let's see. I mean, we do Facebook ads, which draws a lot of traffic for my Venz edits, my fashion site. For the jewelry site, I've gotten actually a lot of just local press. So Dallas Morning News, FD Lux has written some articles about me. They've asked me to actually blog for their blog. So that, those sort of things. My Amber Venz just Facebook page says I wear Amber Venz, and that one has double the number of fans that my
That's crazy.
that my Venz edits one has. So I think that was a funny phrase, and people were like, okay, yeah, I'll wear that.
Yeah.
So it's, that's kind of interesting. I use all sorts of crazy, funny, interesting taglines for my Facebook ads.
Yeah.
So
you just make it real instead of just like the stereotypical stuff you would see on like a fashion
not
blog.
A lot of big words, just and that's kind of actually my personality comes out a lot in Venz edits. I just say it the exact way I would, and sometimes it might be a little disrespectful. My grandmother doesn't like some of the way that I word things, but I'm just real, and I explain it as I would to you in person. So I think that's kind of how my Facebook ads have been, and they've gotten a lot of action from that.
What would you say is the difference between a true entrepreneur and someone who just decides to try to go into business for themselves?
I think right now a lot of people who've just graduated from college are struggling with the economy and finding jobs, and so it seems like a convenient exit to start your own business. A lot of times I know, kids who've gone to SMU, their parents are more than happy to fund them, which is great, which is what you need as an entrepreneur, as a good base behind you. But I think that part of the reason that I've been successful is that I really did my research and put in my time. I spent 5 years living all over the United States, really working on different sides of the industry. So while I worked for 5 years here locally in Dallas during college, and learning all of the ropes of retail, because definitely 1 or 2 years isn't going to get it. You learn so much about just different things every day. Working there 5 years consistently, but for 4 months I moved to LA and worked for a celebrity stylist and learned kind of what that lifestyle was like and what those people want and what they're looking for, which helped me learn how to present my jewelry. Now when I want to contact a stylist, I know what they're looking for and what helps them in the way to go about that. And then the next summer I moved to New York and I worked for Cocoon on the wholesale side, and actually ended up being a fit model. So I learned kind of 2 different things from there. As a high-end wholesaler, what kind of clients are they looking for, and what are they not, and just kind of the day-to-day processes they go through as far as contracts, order forms, all of that. But then also being a fit model for them, learning basically what the stores are going to accept as far as like quality or how heavy something is, or if the customers like something made this certain way, which helped me even coming back to the store be able to create a press kit and get lines for the store that are high-end lines that we didn't have, because they don't just want anybody doing that. So I think working on all sides of that business really helped me and prepared me so that when I left the store and started my own business, I had all of the knowledge that I needed to be able to launch. So I think that's kind of a difference between some people I've seen that are our age that just want to start a business, and so they just kind of do it, and it's something they're kind of interested in, or I think there might be a niche for, but they're not truly passionate about it, and they haven't put in the time. I think putting in the time and learning your skill is the most important, because your foundation will make you or break you.
Right.